This is Mac OS Ken.
Good news, bad news from the supply chain, interesting numbers from the epic Apple brawl, and a few rounds of AirTag. It's Monday, the 10th of May, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Ladder. Smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOSCan. This show is also sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Paying off debt can feel like an uphill battle. High interest rates plus minimum monthly payments keep people in an endless cycle of debt. Upstart can help. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple, fixed monthly payment. Upstart looks at more than just your credit score, factoring in income and employment history. That lets them offer smarter rates with trusted partners. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans between $1,000 to $50,000, and you can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/macOSCan. UPSTART, that's upstart.com/macOSCan. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/macOSCan. 2 stories of the supply chain to start the day. Couldn't decide whether to go good news or bad news first, so I flipped my AirTag, and it came up silver side, which I had designated as heads, which means we start with bad news. A couple of Apple's manufacturing partners in India have been hit with a few cases of COVID-19. Apple Insider says a Foxconn plant in Chennai and a Wistron plant in Karnataka have seen a few folks infected. On Saturday, the piece says Foxconn confirmed that 10 Chinese engineers based at the Chennai factory had been infected with COVID-19. The discovery following tests of staff led to the infected workers being quarantined at a local hospital. Now, those infections actually came after infections at the Wistron factory by 5 days. Apple Insider says 3 Taiwanese engineers at that facility were diagnosed. What's weird is the way the 2 situations were handled. While the Wistron plant was closed for 5 days and disinfected, a report from Taiwan News says the Foxconn factory was disinfected but still continued to operate. According to Apple Insider, report sources say the potential impact to the local economy influenced the local government to allow Foxconn to continue operations at the facility without completely shutting down. While bad news hits Foxconn in India, word that the company is staffing up in China, which is good news for the next round of iPhones. Cult of Mac cites a piece from South China Morning Post saying Foxconn is bolstering its workforce ahead of mass manufacturing iPhone 13. According to the report, each new recruit will earn a bonus of $1,158, 7,500 yuan, if they work for 90 days and are on duty for at least 55 days during that time. This is twice the 3,500 bonus that was on offer at the end of March. It is the 3rd bonus increase in the past month. According to South China Morning Post, the bonus is seen as an indicator of how the company is ramping up production for iPhones ahead of the usual launch of Apple's flagship device in the second half of the year. It's not like we didn't know there was another iPhone coming. Still interesting to hear hints. Interesting info from the end of week 1 of the epic Apple brawl, by which I mean trial. Mac rumors had fun with numbers gleaned from the proceedings. Among them, Apple received an average of 5 million app submissions each year between 2017 and 2019. Roughly 1/3 of those submissions were rejected. The rejection rate ticked closer to 40% last year. 500 people handle the 100,000 App Store submissions received each week. Those 500 folks do their work after apps are analyzed by Apple-designed tools to check for malware and policy violations. If you're curious, not exactly what they're looking for, but closer to exactly what they're looking for, MacRumor says dynamic testing includes everything from battery usage to file system access and privacy requests to access device hardware like the camera and microphone, while static analysis checks app size, entitlements, in-app purchases, keywords, descriptions, and more. Now here is a number Apple didn't want anybody to know. In 2015, a piece from Ars Technica says, Apple managers uncovered 2,500 malicious apps that had been downloaded a total of 203 million times by 128 million users, 18 million of whom were in the U.S. I say Apple didn't want anybody to know that because after some internal discussion, they decided not to tell anybody. Not the 128 million users anyway. Now, you may have actually heard about this. The problem had to do with developers using pirated copies of Xcode called Xcode Ghost. According to Ars, these were legit developers who downloaded what they thought were clean copies of Xcode. They got them from a third-party site because the download was quicker than getting it from Apple. Also, it was injected with nastiness. The report says the repackaged tool, dubbed Xcode Ghost, surreptitiously inserted malicious code alongside normal app functions. From there, the piece continues, apps caused iPhones to report to a command and control server and provide a variety of device information, including the name of the infected app, the app bundle identifier, network information, the device's identifier for vendor details, and the device's name, type, and unique identifier. Apple does seem to have posted a general FAQ that vaguely addressed the issue. It also listed the top 25 affected apps. It further said on that page that running app updates would flush the affected versions with versions that were clean and pristine. Then somewhere along the way it pulled down that web page, though it is still viewable through the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine. It's great that Apple was on it. It's great that Apple fixed it. There are those who think it would have been great if Apple had told the affected users. The way Ars Technica sees it, directly notifying those affected by this lapse would have been the right thing to do. We already knew that Google routinely doesn't notify users when they download malicious Android apps or Chrome extensions. Now we know that Apple has done the same thing. After a year and a half without one, Apple has a new head of PR. BuzzFeed News says Stella Lowe, formerly of Cisco, the tech company, not the food people. Stella Lowe has been hired by Apple. Lowe was Chief Communications Officer at Cisco. She'll now serve as VP of Worldwide Corporate Communications at Apple. Of the new hire, Apple says Stella brings her remarkable experience and leadership to Apple's world-class communications teams. Apple has an important story to tell. From the transformative products and services we make to the positive impacts we have on our communities and the world. And Stella is a great leader to help us write the next chapter.
Hey, Stella!
Like that? Totally original. I'm sure she's never heard it before. I said it's been a year and a half the job's been open. That's only kind of true. Steve Dowling ended his 5-year stint as VP of Communications in September of 2019. Jolly good Apple fellow Phil Schiller has been overseeing Apple PR since Dowling's departure. We'll play a few rounds of AirTag in a moment, but first a word from Ladder. Smart, dynamic term life insurance. I know, right? Happy Monday! Let's talk life insurance. Here's the thing, though. You go to work to provide for your family. Food, clothing, shelter, cars, college. There's a lot riding on you. And you can handle it, as long as you're here. And no one wants to talk about what if they're not here, but What if you're not here? That's why people get life insurance, especially term coverage, which is surprisingly affordable. Why not pay a bit each month to protect the ones you love? If you're asking yourself this question, choose Ladder. Ladder makes it impressively fast and easy to get covered. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithms work in real time, so you'll find out instantly if you're approved and how much various levels of coverage will cost. There are no hidden fees, and you can cancel at any time. So check out Ladder today to see if you're instantly approved. Go to ladderlife.com/macOSken. That's LADDER, ladderlife.com/macOSken, ladderlife.com/macOSken. Tile's tied up with Amazon to take on AirTag. Tile's been out for what? Years? AirTag's been out for what? Days? Cupertino make you jump. According to a piece from Apple Insider, Tile will tap directly into Amazon's Sidewalk network of Echo products to better compete with Apple's Find My network and AirTag. Cupertino make you jump. Apple Insider explains. Amazon Sidewalk is a new network bridge protocol that will extend the range of smart home gadgets using existing Apple devices like Echoes. The Amazon Echoes act as a bridge to the network and enable devices to communicate from much further away than standard Wi-Fi allows. So Tile will apparently piggyback on that to get closer to the range and coverage covered by Apple's Find My. Dave Limp, head of Amazon product, told CNBC on Friday, Sidewalk is all about the next billion things that are going to get on the network. Wi-Fi is constrained, mostly to your home. It just doesn't have the range to go into your backyard, into the neighborhood. Cellular may be the future, but it's very expensive today. So Sidewalk kind of splits the difference between those two and allows us to put millions and billions of things on the edge of the network, but to do it in a secure way. Coming soon to Echoes and Tiles near you, and me, and everybody we know most likely. Tile ties into the Sidewalk network beginning the 14th of June. The headlines make this story look scary, though it's really just interesting what people can and will do, at least for now. The scary headline from iDownload blog, Apple's brand new AirTag has already been hacked. Well, I guess it's time to send the things back to the quantum realm from whence they came. Or we could read the story. The guy who hacked the Othello piece, one Stack Smashing, says the hack allowed for the AirTag's firmware to be dumped. Furthermore, it seems that the microcontroller can be reflashed and that it's possible to modify the NFC URL that appears in AirTag notifications to make custom messages appear on nearby iPhones. Lest you freak, the piece points out it appears that the logic board of the AirTag had to be gutted from its shell and attached to another board via wires to tap into specific parts of the device. Additionally, Stack Smashing said on Twitter that it took hours to hack the one they hacked, and they bricked 2 AirTags along the way. So not the easiest thing in the world to hack this not terribly powerful device. For now, the headlines are scarier than the story. The story is interesting, though. It'll be worth keeping tabs on, at least now and then. Hey, here's something we haven't done in a while. Answered the phone. Last week, I wondered why retailers in Australia seem more worried about kids swallowing the battery inside an AirTag than the same kid swallowing an AirTag. Make light long enough and somebody will tell you.
Hey Ken, this is Robert. I wanted to give you some information about the batteries and kids swallowing it. I'm a pediatric intensivist in Grand Rapids, Michigan, And the problem with those batteries, and not just the AirTag being swallowed, is if those batteries get caught in the esophagus and they're just the battery, the liquid in the esophagus causes a circuit and can actually completely erode away the esophagus. They're considered a medical emergency when kids swallow those, and they have to go immediately to either the operating room or a scope to get them out. So swallowing the AirTag probably wouldn't cause that problem, whereas swallowing the battery would. Just letting you know, you rock.
Thank you, sir, and you also rock. So, no more Mentos jokes, I guess. At least not where AirTag is concerned. By the way, I got one for myself. An AirTag, that is, not a Mentos. I actually got a whole roll of those. Anyway, Jeff Gamet also got an AirTag. He does a compare and contrast with Tile on today's edition of In a Few Minutes. Bop a look and listen to that wherever you find podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOSCan. This show is also sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOSCan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Hey, stop!